Go ahead and get started.
Doing good.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our regular meeting for the month of December. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. I will be exiting quickly after a couple of things here. I've got somewhere I've got to be, and Judy's going to preside over the meeting. But with that being said,
It's on East Yancey County.
go ahead and get started. And I am going to a basketball game, just so you know. It is
It
most important.
It's like North
important.
Carolina, so.
It is important.
I'm a nervous wreck, but anyway.
Got to be there for
There's a
the
couple of things I wanted to be here for, but then, Judy's gonna take over and go from there, but, everyone had a chance to look over the agenda. Got a motion to adopt
I'll
that.
make that motion.
Now second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jason, would you care to grab the public comment? See if anyone signed up for public comment. Sorry about that. Yeah, Brian's out. Shane is running a little bit late, so.
Surprise.
Miss Lucy Dahl. Jason, won't you stay up here? Because we moved you up to the.
It was just going to be one thing, and that's about the incident that happened on Summit Street today that I'm hearing secondhand knowledge from other people. A woman, Rodney Peterson's, I don't know if it was his daughter or girlfriend, and dog walking. Dog is on a leash, and somebody using Summit as a freeway, which is, we're used to it, but we hate it, and they clipped the dog and killed it. And I've been begging for years for more signage and maybe even one of those flashing signs that shows people how fast they're doing. And, you know, I like dogs way more than I like people, but I'm sad when anything like that happens. And I hope that the town, especially now that Azalea is blocked off and everybody that has been using that as a shortcut to North Main is coming up Summit, and we are suffering for it. The other thing is the Area C proposal y'all are going to talk about tonight. I'm hoping that you've had several offers and that one of them is a catering business that supports the events at the town council. I've mentioned it a couple times before, and if not, I think we should find somebody who would do that, and we can cut down on all the single-use plastic that gets tossed after every event here, and have, you know, dishwashers and commercial stoves and ovens and stuff that supports a sustainable town center. Thank you.
Lucy, I will say that, you know, I do realize the situation that's going on down there. We will ask the police department to show more of a presence down there, but we are in the process. Heather and I were on the phone today. Azalea is fixing to get started, hopefully pretty soon. I know that's put a lot of traffic on that, but we will ask Jason and his crew and Jonathan and his crew to kind of watch that, because I know it is dangerous and there's a lot more traffic there,
Yeah.
so.
And thank you for the paving. It's great. They went halfway across Dan's, the front, well, it's Mary's house now, and halfway across Shane Dale's. And my house is like new asphalt, no potholes, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Patty?
I'm Patty Downing-Nygaard, and some of you are old enough to know that my parents had the Yancey County Country Store. I have some nice things to say, but I do want to say we are putting on an event here tomorrow night, 104 people for Yancey Feed a Child. We're cooking the food at the Reconciliation House kitchen, bringing it all the way over here to do that, and it would be amazing if this facility could somehow do that and more people would use it. Just saying that. But anyway, Feed a Child, that's what I wanted to say. So we have an auction that'll be open all day tomorrow. It's in there, it's a silent auction, and we have some amazing things. We also have raffle tickets that'll be on sale tomorrow. They're $5 a piece or 7 for $25, and that you don't have to be here to do that. So if you guys stop them, that would be great. And just a little about Feed a Child, most of you probably know it, but it started in 2007. Robert and Glenda Wyatt are the co-coordinators, and they started with 50 people a week. They are now at 475, and somewhere in my deep gut, from pretty much being raised here, I find it really sad that there's 475 people that we know about that need to be taken care of, and kids, and that's just something to say. Anyhow, I was going to hang out till after the meeting. If anybody wants to go in and bid, we'll open that back up and do that. But I loved your idea about the kitchen. We have had many discussions about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patty. Mary Fernandez?
I'm probably one of the. I'm a little taller. Oh, gosh. First meeting and I'm causing chaos.
No, you're
Hi, y'all. I'm probably one of the newer residents of Burnsville, and I'm so happy to be here. I unfortunately kind of witnessed the immediate before and after of the incident that happened yesterday on Summit with the woman walking her dog. It was awful, and even within the 1 month that I've been living in my house, it's absolutely astonishing both how fast people go down that road. People don't really stay in their lanes. I mean, as much, I think a speed monitor would be great. I'd love to see speed bumps, or, even a sidewalk would be even better, but I know can be somewhat of a pie in the sky option. But I've spoken with a lot of my neighbors that have children, and their kids won't play in their front yards because they're so frightened. And that dog was on a 6-foot leash, not a retractable leash. They were on the right side of the road, but that pedestrians are supposed to walk in, which is so that oncoming traffic can see them. It was really horrible to witness. And I'm just terrified that next time it would be a person or a child, because it was almost a person this time. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And probably just an add-on to that, the lady actually got clipped.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess,
Yeah, she was hitting up here.
yeah. So I mean, them running radar or something up in that a little bit.
Maybe, if we could maybe just get a sign out there, a flashing sign or something, we need to.
2 or 3 days of high presence.
Yeah,
Well,
it definitely does.
You actually find somewhere we can park a car out there.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to park a patrol car to run your radar.
I'd like to volunteer my house.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Use my driveway, you're welcome to use my
Catholic
driveway.
Church, maybe?
I'm sure Lucy's can be used as well, correct?
How about James? He's got a big front yard.
Part of my driveway, I don't care.
They really pick up speed down the hill.
Yeah, Catholic Church would be the spot.
We will look into it even further. I know we have said that in the past, and we have put more of a presence over there, but we will look into it and do something more. Thank you, guys. All right. That finishes up the public comment section. Everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from the November 3rd meeting.
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor.
No second.
All in favor? Good deal. We have no public hearings. Mr. Chandler, if you want to come up here, we've got to recognize Mr. Chandler tonight. He's made a great achievement. I'll
Congratulations.
read this out. Jason Chandler has been a member of the Burnsville Police Department since June of 2006. He has achieved the rank of sergeant within the department and is the first line supervisor of 2 patrol officers. Jason has recently attained his advanced law enforcement certificate. The certificate is awarded to individuals within the profession that have completed a minimum of 2,400 specialized training hours based on experience. We would like to recognize and congratulate Sergeant Chandler for his accomplishment and his dedication to the citizens of Burnsville. Appreciate all you do, Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Alrighty then. Thank you. Never mind, here it is. All right, item number 6 on the agenda is the discussion of Area C. I know that proposal has been sent out to everyone. Heather has had, I guess, I don't want to say numerous, but a couple of discussions with Jamie and these people that have sent this proposal. I'll open the floor up for any discussions on that. I will say that my view is that you know, we've always said that this Area C was a place for a startup business, and that's that's kind of what we've done with Home Place. John was very successful with it, and once he got established and kind of got too big for it, he moved on and has been successful at his other venue. And I think that was what it was designed for in the beginning, was more of a startup business than a long-term. I think this proposal talks about 10 years. And I'm not a big fan of tying it up for that long. That's my opinion. I guess I'll open it up for the board's comments.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, 10 years and the way town's growing, you know what's gonna be coming down the pipes in 10 years. And would it be appropriate, just a small presentation on what they offered?
Sure.
Not a great big one, but just the
Yeah.
highlights of that.
So this is a UPS store franchise that I think approached Jamie, and then I had a meeting with their brokers that the potential franchise owners will be local, moving here. They're proposing a 10-year lease. They would like an extension of additional 5-year renewals, but I had told them when we initially met that's not possible because anything over 10 years under North Carolina law is basically considered a sale. So the most we could do in any situation would be a 10-year lease. They have offered rents. I think over the 10-year period, it would be about $220,000 in that neighborhood. The first 5 years would be at one rent, which is in the proposal that I sent out to you guys, and then it would increase some the next 5 years. Some of the things that they would need is they want to alter the space to meet their franchisee requirements. They also are proposing having this parking area right out here, which is the only parking that the town center actually owns, and putting up signage there. They would be open probably 7 days a week and have some customers who had post office-like boxes would have 24-hour access. Some other things. And they have also, the brokers have asked that the town pay
Money back.
pay a brokerage fee to them.
Can we legally do that? I mean,
I think that maybe you could, but here's the thing: we weren't marketing this building; they just came to us. They were here scouting, and they saw it and think it's a good location. It is a good location, other than the fact it doesn't have any parking. And I had told them in our meeting that we could not give them that parking area. That was town center parking, and if we lose the parking that we have, with our current lease, if this property behind us sells, we're going to have to put our dumpster somewhere. So, that's an issue. It is over the period of the lease. It's at the term of the lease. It would be a good amount of rent. Leslie and I did some calculations. The last year, that we operated at full capacity here in 2019 before the pandemic. I think the town contributed around $30,000 to the general operating budget of the town center. Certainly, any rental that we get in the Area C helps to offset that. But, you know, like Russell said, the council had voted to help John out and with his startup. And that was sort of the plan, and then COVID hit. He left in 2019, then COVID hit. And so we had the opportunity with the local realtor to do a lease with her and get some of the income back. This would be more than that, but that's not to say we haven't talked to them about renegotiating. That was just a year lease. If you do a lease more than a year, we have to run a notice in the paper for 30 days. And you have to adopt a resolution that says the town will not need this property for the term of that lease, which is a little bit hard to predict. But, you know, those are sort of the terms, the overall, the 30,000. I mean, y'all got the same packet that I've got. We're able to look at it, so.
Well, I was here when we voted to make it a startup, and a 10-year lease is a long time. I think that would be more than a startup. Plus, as you said, the parking, I mean, it's scarce now, so
I think
I just
that
don't see
the
it.
brokers would like to have some kind of, you know, direction. I mean, obviously, and they told me, you know, what they proposed was sort of their starting terms. We could make changes, but you are looking at a national chain and sort of being tied to that for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I was frank and candid with them that I didn't know, this being a public building, if that was the way the council would want to go to identify it with, you know, from the street view there as a national chain. But I mean, we have Remax there now, so I think they just need to know, because if this isn't something you guys are interested in, then they're going to look for other prospects.
And that, I mean, Corbin, that parking area is really utilized, especially
that's
on
the main loading.
Saturdays, Sundays,
Yes,
with the
in
town
any event,
center.
that's the main loading area. The other one would be over here on South Main Street, but that just congests up the road whenever people are unloading right there. So, I mean, that is very, very important parking for sure.
A lot of reservations about the parking and the long-term lease and the integrity of Schedule Z building to offer it to a possible startup in the future.
And that's what we designed it for. So, and that was a hard sell at the time.
It appears that everyone's in agreement on that. Do we take any kind of action, or?
I think you can take action and then just direct me to get in contact with them about the decision if you're not interested.
So that needs to go?
Yeah, I will
Motion.
go ahead and just make a motion.
Make a motion to not proceed with the
I'll make that motion.
proposal.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor? All right, well, that being said, I'm out. Merry Christmas to everyone. I'll see you guys Saturday morning.
Do not
Okay.
get in any fights.
Yep, and I may be in jail. Chandler may have to come get me.
How much bond money we gotta get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okey-doke.
All right, thank you, guys.
Have fun.
Good luck, go Rebels.
Yeah.
Go Panthers.
Well, I'm an old Panther
Yeah.
alumni.
Seen I thought it was a cougar,
Managers update, Heather Hockaday.
Managers update, I'm gonna be quiet today, not too much. The stream daylighting project below the shed, Shane and I met with, I guess I should tell you, I think the last time we met, Soil and Water had received one $204,000 grant from the North Carolina Land and Water Trust Fund. Since that time, we've received additional almost $200,000, and that is coming again through Soil and Water for that project to daylight that pipe stream that runs through our lot over on Azalea. Met with the engineers, and they're working on coming up with a plan. There's a few little tricks over there that we're gonna have to figure out, but hopefully they'll come up with a plan, and then we'll have to work with FEMA on figuring out what portion of the funding they gave us for that can still be used at the upper parking lot for the erosion that we had up there from Hurricane Fred.
Okay.
Public Works Police Department building update. We are meeting Monday with the architect who is finalizing the plans that the students at App State did, getting us permit ready. We're going to meet out at the building site, and he's going to go over some things with Shane and Brian, and I think it's looking good. We're getting closer, and so Russell and I have already talked about funding sources. So that's moving right along. High Country, I guess I need to do, you've got it on your agenda, ratification of extension for the audit contract. So due to some sickness and some COVID, we've been slowed down on getting our audit in, and the auditor needed an additional, I think, probably about 15 days, but she asked for a month from the LGC. Had to have that done before the end of the month as far as getting an extension signed. So Russell signed it, and I need you guys to just ratify him doing that. I think they actually pushed the date back, didn't they, at one point on the audit? Yeah. So, this is just for getting it turned into the LGC, and
Yep.
she should have it done well before the end of this month. I think Leslie's got all the financials done and everything like that, so.
I think I need a motion and a
I'll make that
vote.
motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I've got a couple contracts for you guys to ratify. On the 4 ARPA grants from the state Department of Environmental Quality for water and sewer project updates, or I guess some updates. High Country Council of Government is doing our grant administration, and they sent us they sent us contracts for that grant administration, and I just need approval on all of those. I think those were sent out to you guys earlier.
They were. I need a motion and a vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
And then I got one in today. It's the final engineering contract on the East Interceptor sewer project, East Main Interceptor sewer project from Withers Ravenel engineering firm. And they are contracting at this point just to do the engineering report that is due to DEQ, I think, by March 1st. And then they should be sending further contracts for the larger scope. But they were awarded the contract through our RFQ process. So I got that today, and I need an approval for me to sign that because it was set up in my name as the manager.
Okay.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Tax report, it looks good. We're just in the process of collecting right now. Collections are going well. We've had movement, payment agreements come forth on, and some that have been paid off in full on prior year's taxes. We've got one sort of larger one that's outstanding that we'll probably be turning over to Kania Law Firm if we don't get some movement on it pretty soon. But we're in contact with some people about maybe getting something done there.
The one we've already discussed.
Huh?
The one we've already discussed.
Yes. And I also just need to inform you guys that we have the 5 and under releases, people who owe $5 or less in taxes. It amounts to $58.77, and the tax clerks are happy to be able to release those so they don't have to keep carrying that over and over and over.
Right.
So I just needed to inform you guys of that. And I'm done tonight.
What is
Okay.
the bottom line on all that, $10 million?
On all that, which one?
All 4 of those?
All 4 of the
Grants.
project ordinance. Yes. Okay, Leslie's got the project
Oh, sorry.
ordinances. Yeah.
And Denise said this a minute ago, and it's valuable. We don't have to worry where the money is.
No,
$10 million, whoever thought it.
it's all in Raleigh right now.
Yeah.
But it's coming this way.
But it's coming this way. We're getting closer. We're getting closer.
$10 million.
Okay, the clerk's update, Chad?
Thank you. 2 quick updates. The first one being the Christmas parade. And we will have a truck ready if you all are interested in participating. We typically, and I just talked to Russell briefly about meeting at North Main Street, setups around 11:30. We've got the information about your entry number and where you'll meet and all that I can make sure y'all have if you're wanting to participate.
Okay, at Public Works?
Yeah, it'd be on North Main.
Okay.
That one there, the old fire department.
Okay.
truck there.
11:30.
At 11:30 is about the time they want people to start gathering over at the fitness center.
Oh, so we need to be back over here a little bit before that?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, time you work through town.
yeah,
It's always hectic on that end.
Right.
no later than 11:15 at least. Okay,
All right. The planning board update. We've got a couple of our members, our chair and co-chair, their 3-year terms will expire in January. So I'll have some conversations with them between now and then about potentially having them be reappointed as alternates. I did receive another application today, so I'll get that and anything new in front of me before our next meeting, but that'll be an item we'll consider at the next meeting. We'll have two open alternate seats.
okay.
That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Public Works, Mr. Shane Dale. What you got?
I really don't have a whole lot, to be honest.
Well, that's,
We've been getting a little of the patching done that we've needed to get done, and finally got some of that situated, and one more of the streets has been paved that was in that paving package. And a few little water leaks, it's that time of year that's popping up, the ground changes, and if I keep enough healthy people coming to work, we'll get them. Flu is,
oh,
they took
it's,
care of us
yeah.
for a
Worse
little
than
while.
COVID.
Yes. Other than
Christmas
that,
decorations.
Christmas decorations is up.
Yeah, they look good.
Lit.
And thank you for the patching.
Yeah, that one down there. they-
That was bad, yeah.
It's took a little while to get everybody lined up and on the same page, but it's finally worked out. But that's about it.
All right, appreciate you. Ms. Leslie Crowder.
Okay, well, I sent the budget versus actual and the draft out earlier. I had to run the payroll this week, so I waited to get your everything report today. If anybody has any questions. If not, we'll move on to Miss Big Money.
The big money.
Miss Big Money. All right, so these are the four grants. The only one that I don't have with them is the water plant. And I think we already have a project ordinance for that, but they're converting the loan into forgiveness, so we'll be getting that grant funded too. But we've got the main sewer interceptor east improvements for $2,153,570. have the Bowlins Creek Rye Water Line and Cane River intake pumps at $2,221,991. Doing the Baker Creek pump station improvements at $599,500. Then we have the Main Street, Bennett Street, and Glendale Avenue water line improvements at $5,849,527. It's a lot of money. A lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
I think that you can approve them all.
As a
All
group.
together.
But then we're gonna do we're gonna ask for the bank statements, but we'll have to list them separately.
Okay, I need a motion,
I'll make that.
I'll second.
and all in favor? Aye. Okay,
Okay, then the next one is for the open accounts for all of it, which works easier for me to give them their own funds and actually just have their own account. And if we could have a motion where you list the Main Street water line improvements, Baker's Creek pump station improvements, Bowlins Creek, and, or we'll just say Bowlins Creek improvements, and Main Street interceptor east.
The sewer interceptor, yeah.
okay, do I hear a motion for all those?
I'll make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Are
Do you need it by the piece?
I think where we just read it out, I think you can do much with that.
For the
I
whole,
mean, that's what you meant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is to list them out like that.
that's what I'm, yeah.
Because then we'll just want it broken out.
Yeah,
I'll see a copy of the minutes to open the account.
Yeah, may the minutes reflect.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, is that it?
I think so.
Good job.
Thank you.
Niles Howe.
Thank you. Just, you have my report for the month of November. We did end up with 29 calls per month. And the one outstanding thing is we had 7 structure fires, and that includes mutual aid calls. And 4 of which were in the last 2 weeks, so it's kind of been a busy time a little bit. But it's staying right in line. There's not an excessive number of calls. We ended up for 393 for the end of the month, so it's total cost. And we also have had our annual service done on our apparatus, all our trucks have been serviced, and oil change filters and all those kind of things. And then talking with the mechanic that we usually does that performs that work for us, I mentioned to him about our tanker. Our tanker is has served us well. It is a truck that has less than 20,000 miles on it, but we are finding lately that the way we're normally operating in structure fires lately is that we pump from tankers into a primary engine, which then fights the structure fire. That truck has a 300-gallon-a-minute pump on it, which it's kind of ineffective at moving water fast enough to fill up a pumper. So I spoke to him about the possibility of replacing the pump in that truck, and he suggested I contact Anchor Ritchie, who is a refurbisher, lately a builder of fire trucks there down in the middle part of the state. And Matthew Ritchie came up and looked at the truck, and I'm getting proposals from him to replace that pump with a rated pump, probably 1,250-gallon-a-minute pump, and which would turn that truck, instead of just into a tanker, to be a pumper tanker, which would be more effective for us and more cost-effective for the department, rather than looking for a new truck to use an existing good truck that we have to just replace the pump in it. So the mechanics seem to think we could do that somewhere less than $50,000. So that would be a pretty good lick, I think, if we could do that rather than pay $250,000 for another truck. So, I'm waiting to hear back from him. I didn't give him a deadline to get it. He wanted some time because he wanted to do some different options when he offered that back to us. And so I just want to make the council aware that that's what we're looking at right now is trying to revamp that truck and get some good service out of a good existing truck that we already have. So. And that's about all I have to report today.
All right, thank you. And Brian Buchanan's not here, so we will skip zoning and police department. Town center, Corbin?
So, ending off November, we had the Holly Jolly Craft Show, and after speaking with Chrissy, the renter, we think that may have been the most attended craft show she's had, which is, I'm trying to think, she started those back in, Chad, do you remember how long ago it's been? It's 2015, maybe earlier than that? Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty impressive that this most recent year was the most attended one that she's had so far, so that's awesome. As Chad mentioned, you guys have to be set up for the parade around 11:30. Gives you plenty of time to come by the town center for the 4-H Christmas Bazaar, FFA Christmas Bazaar. That starts at 10 a.m. That might be something interesting for you guys to stop by if you'd like. For the rest of this month, I've got a lot of Christmas parties going on, and as you know, we're having Feed a Child tomorrow, and then we have Darren Nicholson. He'll be performing here on December 17th. And towards the end of the month, we have our regular scheduled maintenance work days where we don't allow anybody to rent. Right after Christmas, we go through and start working on things in the building. We have certain things like blemishes in the walls and stuff that we attend to. Last year, I actually went over to Town Hall and painted the steps. So this year, I'll be over here working and getting the building kind of back in order. So it'll get nice and new again. Other than that, I don't have anything. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Good job. Okay, council members, anybody have any reports? No?
And me at the High Council of Government the other night, they mentioned about the programs coming around for elderly people, the Tai Chi and the balance stuff, and they're gonna get with the county and see about getting the center out there, and I hope that we'll be receptive to that when they do. I think it'll be really good.
That'd probably be me.
Well, I'm going. For sure.
We'll go together. Economic Development, Jamie McMahon.
Good afternoon, Madam
How
Vice
are you?
Mayor.
How are you?
Council, I'm well. Hope y'all are. We had a great
Good.
Thanksgiving. You can tell I'm the resident economic geek in Yancey County because everybody else looks forward to Thanksgiving at the end of November, and I look forward to the publication of the Development Tier Designation Report that comes out on the 30th of November every year from the Department of Commerce. I always wait for this report to come out in advance of us sending out our own sort of year-end checkup about how Yancey County and the town of Burnsville has fared economically over the preceding calendar year. I will tell you guys that we are and continue to be a Tier 2 county. And as if you're familiar with the tier designation system, the 40 most economically distressed counties in the state are Tier 1 counties. We were a Tier 1 county until 2017. We've been a Tier 2 since then. The 40 middle counties, if you will, are designated Tier 2, and then the 10 top counties are Tier 3. But if you look in that data, some good things that there are certainly to brag about, looking at the increase in our sort of demographic data in a wild year with inflation going up and unemployment rising. So Yancey County had population growth 1.62% this year. That put us 63 out of the 100 counties for growth in population. So up at the top end. If you look at our unemployment rate, the national rate is 3.7%. Our rate annualized over the year is 3.35%. That gives us the 67th best unemployment rate of the 100 counties in the state. State average is 3.69, national average is 3.7. And if you look at our annual wage, they published that report at the same time. Last year, the average median salary in Yancey County was $38,506. This year was $40,622. So we've seen an increase there as well. So, if you look at this kind of topsy-turvy economy that we're in, Yancey County and the town of Burnsville did pretty solidly. It's worth noting that only one county moved to a Tier 3 designation this year. That was our neighbors in Avery County, because they had a 3.77% population increase, which is due in large part to, and Judy's nodding, to all of the second home residents in the 27 private communities. They had moved their permanent residents to Avery County, so that bumped them up to Tier 3. They were the only county to go up to a Tier 3
How
designation.
close are we this year?
You're knocking on the door. We slipped one spot, 75 instead of 76. But you're still up there overall in the top end of the rankings.
It's just a tricky thing, because it's helpful
It is.
for grants.
For grant money.
And I would prefer to stay right where we are. It's nice to brag about being at the top end of the 2s, but not being a 3, because that way you're knocked out of grant funding for a lot of different programs. So unless you have any questions for me, I just wanted to share that with you as a sort of a quick report, and that's all I've got tonight.
I guess,
Thank you.
kind of, that's not a report, but that thing in our state, I mean, that's off the charts. That ought to pull a lot of money.
We've been fortunate. I mean, if one thing that's not reflected in this too, if you're looking at that, is tourism numbers. The visitor economy here, we went from doing $54 million in travel-related spending to 68 this year. I mean, now that comes with its own challenges too.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a great read.
Yeah.
To sit there and read it and say, that's our town.
Yeah, I mean, so y'all must be doing something right, so keep it up.
Thank you. Everybody's got the minutes from High Country Council. Christie's not here? No? We don't have a closed session.
No closed session.
Next town council meeting is January the 5th, 23.
Actually, it's,
Wait,
yeah.
yeah, it was marked out. I started to look it up just to make sure, but anyway, that's in 2023. It's going to be here at any time now. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming.